Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you guys have not been here before, thank you so much for coming. It is time for another On this episode of Wine and Design, I'm going to talk all about making your website super fast, especially if you use WordPress, and all of the tips and tricks you can do to make sure that your website does not get ranked lower on SEO, and speed is one of the #1 reasons that it might. So I hope you guys enjoy this Wine and Design, and let's get to it. Let's talk about the wine real quick. So I have drinking this wine for a couple episodes now. Guys, I'm like the only one in the house that drinks wine, so it lasts me a very long time, but I'm not mad about it because this one is just so good. I got it at Trader Joe's. It is a Zinfandel, and not only is the label just gorgeous for your countertop, but it tastes amazing, and it's like not too bitter, not too strong, but it's also just like flavorful and good. So I poured myself the very last bit of this just so I can like bring in a new wine. I like to try the new ones with you guys. So next week we will definitely have a new one. But yeah, this one is definitely really good. Highly recommend it. Maybe at the end of these wine and designs, I should rank all the wines. Let me know if you guys would like that. But anyway, getting off topic already. I also wanted to mention to you guys, I've mentioned it before, but WORDPRESS is my project managing system, and I love WORDPRESS. I've actually tried other ones, and I've asked around a lot about different designers, photographers, people that own their own business, and WORDPRESS is just so good. It has everything you could need, and it also, they're adding new things on, like you can do video, or you can set up calls on WORDPRESS now. You can they come with different templates for proposals, invoice, all that kind of thing. So I love WORDPRESS. It is like my life savior, to be honest, because it keeps me on track. It keeps payment schedules going, and I don't have to sit there all day and remind people of things. And then one last thing about it, it actually allows you to create a client portal. So if you're doing a lot of projects for one client, you can set up a portal where they can log in and see their invoices and the calendar, all that kind of thing. So I love WORDPRESS, and the reason I wanted to mention that today was because they are offering 20% off, which is like a really good deal, because it's like $250, I think, a month. I'll pop it up here. Not a month, a year. And that can definitely add up. So if you get 20% off, that's like a really good deal. So if you're thinking about getting a project management system, I would definitely do it right now. I think the sale goes until Friday. And then I'll leave a link down below. It is my affiliate link. If you guys want to use it, I would appreciate that so much. But definitely check it out. I just want to let you guys know of that, because as small business owners, we all have expenses adding up, and right now is the time to get WORDPRESS. So just found the password to log in. All right, so also I use Siteground. I recommend that for all my clients. And why, you might ask? There's so many hosting accounts out there, you guys, and hosting accounts make a world of difference for speed. So this actually is really important for the topic I am talking about today, because if your hosting account server is like jam-packed with a ton of clients, a ton of customers, your website will probably be slower. And this is kind of why I've strayed away from using like Bluehost, HostGator, a lot of those hosting companies that have a lot of customers. And that's not to say they're terrible, but I like to find the hosting accounts that are a little more like niche and a little bit better customer service. On top of that, their server is just huge, and the speed is way worth it. I think it's a little bit more expensive than some of the hosting accounts out there, but I love Siteground. I'll name a few in a second here. My developer guy that I hire to do some projects for me, he actually recommended a couple hosting accounts for me to mention today. So let me pull them up, because some of these I've never heard about. I've actually personally not tried them, but he really recommends them, and I do trust his opinion on these kinds of things. So some of the hosting accounts he recommended is for shared hosting, Big Rocks, and for VPS is Server Mania. So those are some of the ones he recommended. Big Rocks, I actually looked at the website and they are like really cost effective and cheap. So if you want to get something that's good but also affordable for your client, maybe check out Big Rocks. But I personally love Siteground. He also likes Siteground, so that's what I'm going to stick to for now. And that's what I like. They also come with a free SSL certificate. So, and then you can just literally install it so easily. So that's awesome. So many good things about Siteground. But let's head on over to the WordPress website. And I would recommend you guys going to all the websites you've created, even if you've already worked with this client, their website's already launched. Literally, it would mean so much for your client if you reach out and say, hey, I did a speed test on your site and it looks like it could be sped up a little bit. Let me help you free of charge. Guys, that alone will make that client share your name everywhere, and just really good client, customer service. So maybe try that, but I'm gonna pull up site speed. I actually haven't even tested the speed of this site yet, the one that's about to launch next week. So let's pull up, I usually use the Google developers one, and let's go to the website. So this one's probably gonna be a bit slower because I haven't resized the images yet, but let's check it out. Actually, I did resize the images, so it might be good. But yeah, you just enter your domain here, and it should be above like 80%. So let's hope that's what it does, but never know. There's a lot of things like on the back end of websites. See, this is not good. 27, I should be in the 90s to be honest. So let's see what we can do. Yeah, a lot of the images. So a lot of the images need to be resized, and consider lazy loading off screen images. Okay, so we're gonna do this together, guys. We're gonna resize the images, and I'm gonna install this plugin that actually helps me speed up the site a little bit, and we're gonna see if we can increase that score. So let's go to, I wonder if they actually give you the resized. Okay, I'm just gonna do it that way. So I'm gonna open up these images, and we're gonna just resize it in Photoshop, and then we're just gonna re-upload them. So I'm gonna do that off camera, speed it up a little bit, and then come back to you guys, and we'll keep on checking the score and see like what is the biggest factor for the site being slow. So let me go resize these, and I will catch up with you guys after that. Okay guys, I resized all of the homepage images. Now I'm gonna go to my WordPress dashboard into the media area, and now I'm going to delete the ones that I'm not using anymore, just so it's not even a part of my WordPress file manager, everything. So let's go through and delete the ones I don't need. So I'm gonna have to figure out this homepage image. It's kind of still blurry and not looking the best, so I'm gonna have to go through and figure that out. But I'm just deleting the images that I'm not using so that we don't have too many on here. And then, okay, so let me delete this one. Okay, these were already already resized. There was just a few that were a little bit bigger than they needed to be. So I'm not super worried about the pictures, but I think I am gonna add, if I head over to my plugins, I'm gonna add an image compressing plugin, which I don't usually do, but I think that it might be beneficial for her site just because she's probably gonna add images on her own eventually, and I don't want her to have to like resize them on her own. So let's see if I can find, let's just search in here. We'll type in image compress, see what it comes up with. So yeah, I've used this before, but this one's kind of nice that it does caching as well. Okay, let's try this one for hers. Oh yeah, short pixels. Short pixel optimizer is the one that my developer has recommended to me, but you do have to pay for a certain amount of images per month, but you do get like I think like 30 or 50 images for free each month, but it's just something to keep in mind. But I'm gonna use this one today and see if it helps my speed at all. So let's remember, I was at 27, and we're gonna try and get it to at least like 70, 80, and then on my own time, I'll probably kind of go through and just double check everything. But let's go to optimize in the settings and see what's going on in here. So enable caching, trackbacks. I have used this plugin before and I do like it, but I want to make sure that it works well for hers. She actually doesn't have that many images, which is nice, but with sites that are loaded with images and videos, like, you really have to make sure that you're double checking the sizing and everything. And I would say try and keep the sizing around 500 KB, at most 700 KB, but that is usually the best for making your site faster, at least from what I've seen. There might be a better recommendation out there, but that is what I've seen. This is all from my experience. So this is actually nice that I'm doing this plugin, because I would have had to do that on every site or on every page, which is fine, but that does take a little bit more time. So this is going to take a minute. Let's talk about some other ways you can increase your speed. So you can increase your speed by adding your Google font file code thing into your CSS file. So what I mean by that is I would recommend using, it has a swap, so that's kind of like a lazy load thing. So when the website's up, you've probably noticed on sites you've gone to, it loads like a random like Times New Roman kind of font, and then it switches to the Google font. That is what this is. So I found the code that you should use to just load your fonts a little bit faster. This is definitely like a whole nother video, but I would make sure that you look this up and add this into your, which file is it? Your style sheet. I will probably link my favorite recommendation down below in my description. That is something that I definitely do before or while it's launched. It's fine to do it whenever, but this will definitely help the speed a little bit. So make sure that you're checking your Google fonts, making those faster by adding some CSS code to swap the lazy load for whatever you need. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not a coder, but I'm definitely learning some of the little tips and tricks, and this is one of them to make your website faster. Another trick is the caching, and that is why I downloaded this plugin that's currently compressing my images. You're loading a web page, your internet's basically saving what that looks like and caching it so that next time you load, it can load a little bit faster. But the more it saves those images and those different pages that you're currently editing, and the more caching it does, the more slow your website will be. I hope that makes sense. I think I explained that properly, but I would make sure that you do have an optimizing plugin or something that can remove those caches and purge those caches so that it shows the most recent and the most current, so that it will speed it up. So that is something that will really, really help your site with speed. I've seen that do tremendous changes in the scores on here. And then also it says that consider delivering critical GS, CSS inline can help you inline critical assets, beware of. Okay, so that one's a little bit weird, but I do know that this will probably, if I fix the fonts, that'll probably change that. And I did change all those images, so I'm excited to retest the score and see if it went up at all. I have done this before and it only goes up a little bit, but I think because I've done the caching and the images, that will be okay. So remove any unused plugins. If you had like backup plugins, if you had migration plugins in there, make sure to remove those. And I am going to mention this plugin as well because it has caused me issues in the past. And that plugin is Yoast SEO. I know it's really helpful for finding what descriptions to use, and it just helps you with your SEO, but I would be really weary of that plugin just because I have had a couple instances where it caused things on my sites to not load properly, and it does slow it down a little bit. So just keep an eye out for that. And then I would just make sure you're updating your site constantly and adding code in for your fonts so that it can help it load faster. There's so many little things you can constantly be making your site faster, but these are my top things that I would definitely start with. And yeah, so once this is done, I'm going to cache my site and I'm going to purge my cache and I'm going to check out the minify settings, and then we're going to retest my score. The site score, so let's see if what I did helped at all. Let's pray that it did, because the images itself probably did. Yes, okay, so we increased it by half, which is awesome. So we went from 27 to 42. Now the next thing I am probably going to do is make sure that the font code is fixed, and then also just making sure that I remove these CSS thing. I'll probably go through these other red marked things, but I'm super happy that we've increased it that much. And yeah, I just think this was an important video to make. Oh, look at that, guys. So it was on my mobile. So on desktop, it's actually at 78. I wish I saw what it was before, but that's solid. That's really good. So if I can get it into the 80s and 90s, we're good to go. But yeah, I need to fix the mobile speed because that's also really important. And I think that by doing that, I can just resize the images. So if you go to your Divi, if you're also using Divi, you can go here. I feel like I'm all over the place today, guys. I'm so sorry. But to resize the images for mobile, I would hit Enable Visual Builder and then select your mobile settings right here. And then I would actually like replace these images right here with already sized images for mobile. So that's what I'm going to work on. and that'll really help the mobile speed, because right now it's loading desktop sized images, which is not necessary. So yeah, I also need to just double check mobile for her. But that is my tips for making sure your website is fast and optimized and SEO friendly, and I really hope this helped you guys. I feel like I was kind of all over the place because I have so much to share on this, because it's always my constant struggle with websites, is making sure that they're speedy and that everything is loading properly. So this is something that random text. But this is something that I really think is super important to pay attention to. So I really hope to help you guys. If it did help you guys, please let me know. If you have any questions, if you want me to expand on any of this, I know it was kind of quick and short and to the point, but if I could give you guys a couple things to walk away with, it would be to download an optimizing plugin. I know that staying away from plugins is the best thing to do just because they can slow your site down, but this one I'm actually really happy with. I've used it before. It is WP Optimize, and it not only has image compressing, it has caching, minifying, basically everything you need. So that is one I would recommend installing, and reach out to those old clients and see if maybe you could speed up their site for them just out of your own kindness. I know I mentioned in my last video, people don't appreciate a favor, but if the project's already done and you need some new clients, this could possibly help you get some more word of mouth. So maybe reach out to them or do this for your own site. But yeah, I hope it helped you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would appreciate it so much if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in my next video on Sunday. I'll be doing a full week of vlogging, so make sure you stay tuned for that and subscribe so you know when I post it, and I will see you guys next time.